Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reacts where today we have ourselves a track from an act named Greenness titled Psychopomps, and if we switch over to here we have ourselves a track on the screen here. Apparently this is the third single off of their Honeymoons LP, which was just released on the 14th of November 2025, so very recent. Go check it out, enjoy the song. We're going to listen through this track from start till finish and we're going to hear what we think. Let's do it, get it up on YouTube, let's go. What do we got?
She flew through the window on a windy day. Silently stared at me, all silver and gray.
Very surreal, isn't it?
Never seen such a scene, but still I guessed she was here to take me to my final rest. But I'm not ready to meet my dad. I'm not ready to meet my dad.
I mean, that cello
I'm
tone.
not ready to meet my dad. I'm not ready to meet my dad. I know all my demons 'cause I have met them. Sat around my bed to write a requiem. I know of the darkness, for I have been there. I know it can kill you if you don't take care. But I'm not ready to meet my dad. I'm not ready to meet
I like that chord response.
I'm not ready to meet my dad. I'm not ready to meet my dad. Don't shoot the messenger, I'm only your guide. Someone else has sent me from the other side. No one chooses, it begins and then it ends. No one loses, no one wins, now make amends. And get ready to meet your dad. I'm not ready to meet my dad. I'm not ready to meet my dad. I'm not ready to meet my dad. Ready to meet my dad. I'm not ready to meet my dad. I'm not ready to meet my dad. I'm not ready to meet my dad.
Did we have an additional high note that we were hitting there at the end that was kind of like an upper layer in the harmony? Because if we did, that's really cool. Like either way, it's fine. It's a really cool track. We're going to talk about it more in the conclusion. And so welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Greenness titled Psychopomps. In this section, we're going to talk about a few of the things I really appreciated about this track, as well as any applicable constructive critique, and then finally my overall thoughts on it from just a general sort of listener's perspective. But first of all, what do we think this track is about? I think this track is about someone who is coming to terms with the fact that a messenger has come from the other side to talk to them about how they're going to die, their mortality. They're discussing in the first half how they've approached, how they've kind of come to them. And then the second part is like they've looked into their darkness and they've kind of seen the depths of themselves. They're not too unfamiliar with it necessarily, but they still don't want to meet their death. They don't want to actually go there. And in the end, It's about that spirit or someone from the other side saying, look, it's time, it's your time to do this. And I think it's somewhat open to, perception in terms of like how you want to sort of take it. In part, it could be someone, dying when they're young, like having sort of struggled with things and maybe sort of like having a rough time with it, maybe. But then like really, there's this part of them that doesn't want to sort of give it up, even though like things are saying they kind of need to. In fact, they don't even need to be young; it just be anyone who's sort of getting by. But I feel like there's like that focus on mortality there is just really interesting subject matter, and I feel like it's effective and it's relatable to people. I think most people can sort of relate to this. I just think it's an interesting angle having someone from the other side as the messenger. They say don't shoot the messenger, which is interesting considering the subject matter, but like to tell you it's your time. It's just kind of having to sort of like accept it without becoming too sort of like raucous or kind of like gritty about it. So I think in terms of things I appreciated about this track, the first, I liked the really uncomfortable jittery textures of the instruments. I thought some of the frenetic staccato quick playing on the guitar parts with those really quick strummed chords there, the kind of grit and grain of the cello as well, that kind of scratchy texture and tone was really wonderful. I just thought it sort of highlighted and marked the tenseness, the terseness of the in situation they're in. They're still played incredibly well, don't get me wrong. It's not played in a way that sounds bad. It's that they're making deliberate decisions with their performance that kind of highlight or accentuate those sort of feelings or anxieties or moods there. But another thing that also works so well alongside that is almost the way that we're so personable with the way that we sing. We sing really well. We have great vocal technique, very comfortable in head and chest voice. Really sort of great at expressing ourselves, but we do so in a way that's very personable. Even it's accessible. It's not trying to be sort of pretentious or sort of like too articulate or educated about it. You can kind of imagine, both from the audiovisual perspective, you don't need to imagine it. You can see the people in the video talking about this, but if you were just listening to the song on its own, you could imagine the conversation they're having between themselves, between, again, the spirit and the person telling the story. From a storytelling perspective, you're not really quite sure what happened to her in the end. It just poses a lot of interesting questions, but just the melodies that we have there, there's this wonderful kind of balance and equilibrium with the expression there. Again, despite those scratchier textures I mentioned earlier, the use of those really kind of like sweet chords there, those open sort of chords there. The percussion isn't particularly savage or aggression, filled with aggression or crushing. Like there's this acoustic drum kit with a mixture sort of like hi-hats, kicks and snares and sort of tom patterns, and we explore the drum kit a bit, but it's still very gently played. It's almost like it's the sweet embrace of death. There's like a little bit of spice to some of the guitar chords with the dominant sevenths and other sort of parts. There's maybe some diminished chromatic parts within the harmonies occasionally to infer a sense of dread. But ultimately, I feel like they wed so well, again, those moments of harshness with the sweet sort of somber vibe of the actual track itself. It's very pleasant to listen to. There are these moments of like, we kind of like call and respond with the vocals telling the story, and the vocals become more melodic or harmonic and integrating themselves with a great sort of rhythmic unison as well, with the other instrumentalists within the arrangement. And again, there are moments where like you feel the sizzle of the cello with the kind of like occasionally discordant and mildly sort of chaotic nature of the guitar arpeggios with the kind of ping pong delay on them, the bass refining and reinforcing the root notes, the drums kind of adding into the ether without being too harsh. It's a very sort of surreal experience there, because you could have gone a lot heavier with it, but there's lots of nuance to it. I think that's basically the structure of it as well. I just feel like it's so well put together with the 3-act kind of situation you have with the chorus being repeated and kind of flowing into it so effortlessly from the different perspectives, again, of the conversation between the spirit and the vocalist, them telling the stories of their own darkness that they've gone through. It's almost like no matter where we go with the story, we're always coming back to that sort of like reality of the situation. The kind of burlesque dancing that we have, almost the sexiness of death itself being a thing that we look into as we go through the piece, kind of met with the reality and sort of like face the less attractive parts of it. And there's like a ghostly tone to the vocals that brings it all together, but just specifically structurally, just really satisfying with the 3-act phrasing of it. It's kind of like a movie, the audiovisual experience kind of like cementing that, and just a really great sort of like use of the 3 minutes 33 with lots to appreciate in terms of the various sort of like guitarist arpeggios and lead notes and sub leads, the vocals going in their various sort of melodies and harmonies, as well as the drums with their various sort of tom fills and sort of predominant 8th note groove, the bass being very supportive, and the cello again being either sort of like ornamental instrumental, or sort of like more of a kind of additional, really important textural contrast within the mix. So ultimately, I think it was the use of those kind of sounds or harsh parts alongside the relative sweetness and equilibrium established with those kind of harsh parts and the more sort of like the somber kind of nuances of the expression with the vocalist as well as the other arrangements within the mix. And also just generally the structure of it was very, very tight. In terms of applicable constructive critique, I think that this is its own sort of like unique concept, and I think to try and change anything would ruin it. So I just feel like it's just very effective on its own, and I can understand, you know, what they're trying to accomplish here. It's very effective, and no complaints on my part. Just from a general listening perspective, I think that it was a very unique song in the sense that I know that can sometimes be deemed to be a criticism or a counterpoint. It's more that I listen to this, I hear their story, and it's got a weird sort of wholesomeness to it. They could have been so much more negative and kind of gruesome with it, but they just managed to kind of add a sense of melancholy to it. And the melancholy is kind of the kind of craziest, scariest thing of all, if you think about it. The fact that we've just gone through so much that we're not even really bothered by it too much. Like, we don't want to meet death and we're calling out a little bit, but we're not too frantic about it. Yeah, it's something I'll think about. I feel like I'll think about this track. And I like that they're trying to approach this without being too on the nose about it. It's a very mature sort of take on it. But ultimately, yeah, I enjoyed my time with it. It's a great first impression to Greenness, and thank you for watching my review of this track from Greenness titled Psychopomps off of the Honeymoons LP, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show them some love via their various social medias and YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I will catch you in the next SP Reacts. Spiderhands out.